Hello, my name is Sam Feltham. I'm the Director of the Public Health Collaboration. Now, before I hand over to Liz, who will be taking you through the Real Food Lifestyle course, I just wanted to mention that in addition to providing this course for free, we also run an online weekly lifestyle support group you can join as well. Simply go to our website at www.phcuk.org/support and you can sign up right there. Also on the website, you can find lots of free resources and projects that you can get involved in, such as Real Food Runners or even the Ambassadors Programme as well. And if you find any of our content valuable whatsoever, please do consider donating what you can, or even regularly contributing to the charity by becoming an annual member. Now, without further ado, let me hand you over to Liz.
Hello again, and welcome everyone to the last session of our Real Food Lifestyle course. Just a final reminder that the information contained within this course is just that. It's information and not medical advice. If you have any medical questions, you need to speak with your doctor or your nurse. So today, we're going to talk about progress. We've come to the end of the course and we need to talk about what to do next. And then we're also going to talk about Christmas and birthdays and all those other festivities and how to approach those. So, welcome to the last session of the Real Food Lifestyle course. Firstly, I hope you found it useful and that it's helped you to make changes to your lifestyle. Hopefully, you're beginning to see the results of the changes you've been making. I know if you've binge watched the whole series, you may not have made much progress yet. So slow down, start again from session 1, have a reminder, and gradually make those changes. Maybe if you have been staggering your watching, your glucose readings have started to come down. And if they have, think of asking your doctor to check your HbA1c. There's not a lot of point in having it checked again in the first week or so, but certainly after 2, preferably 3 months, certainly you could ask him to check it again if that was the reason for you coming and watching our course. This is just one of the charts from Dr. Unwin's surgery showing remission from type 2 diabetes in one of his patients. He now has over 130 of them and seems to add 1 or 2 every week. We'd love it if you'd share your success with us too. With more statistics, we're hoping to convince all the doctors and nurses in the NHS and beyond that more people could benefit from doing what you've been doing for the last few weeks. And remember, success doesn't necessarily mean remission from type 2 diabetes. It could simply be much better control of your blood glucose. It could be weight loss or improvement in your mood and energy levels. Many people report a reduction in pain or improvement in their skin condition and a feeling of generally feeling better in themselves. Whatever your success, we'd love to hear about it. Share it with us in the Facebook support group or contact us via the website. And remember that even if you haven't yet joined our support groups, you can do. Just go to the website and register, and then you'll have access to our interactive meetings and to our Facebook group. But now let's talk about all those celebrations and festivities, times of temptation for most of us. So how do we enjoy ourselves without going completely off the rails? Obviously, if you're hosting the day, you're in charge and you can plan. And planning is often key. As we've said when eating out, planning is key. Plan your menus in advance. If everyone will eat low carb, and often if you don't tell them, they won't know. So as long as what you put in front of them is delicious, they're not going to question it. There are many luxurious dishes that no one would think of as diet food. For example, smoked salmon mousse. Smoked salmon, cream cheese, double cream, finely chopped chives and lemon zest. The recipe came from Good Housekeeping and was suggested as a starter for a posh Boxing Day lunch. Sounds good to me. Very few carbs in it, perfect for low carb, and serve it with low carb crackers. Again, everyone will love them. Made from egg, ground almonds and ground flaxseed. They're easy to make. You can make them several days before and store them in an airtight box. And there are other cracker recipes also, both on our website and available online. Serve those up to your guests. Beautiful homemade crackers and a fantastic smoked salmon pate. What's not to like and what's to think that it's odd? Or make your own chicken liver pate, for example, or a parfait. You'll find plenty of recipes online. Just make sure you don't use any vegetable oils in them. If it's a big celebration like Christmas or Thanksgiving, let's first have a look at the traditional Christmas dinner, for example. Most of us would have meat of some sort. Turkey, of course, is traditional, but many others have chicken, goose, beef. It doesn't matter. They're all fine for us, no carbs in meat. And of course, if you're vegetarian or someone else in the family is, you can make a low-carb nut roast. Plenty of recipes, again, online. I would warn against buying ready-made ones because so many of them do contain vegetable oils and other ingredients that you wouldn't want. So try and make a homemade one. You can probably make it in advance and freeze it. You could also add pigs in blankets to the roast. Just make sure, of course, that you get chipolata sausage with a high meat content and then wrap them in bacon. Everyone will be able to eat those, you included. The usual traditional veg are okay too. Brussels sprouts, think of being more adventurous than plain boiled. Fry them with bacon or pancetta and garlic, or roast them in the oven. They taste completely different from plain boiled. Just look for recipes online. Carrots, cabbage, again, traditional accompaniments, all perfectly okay. If you feel the others are going to miss roast potatoes and parsnips, then cook them for the others and try not to give in to the temptation yourself, or treat yourself to one. But remember, again, that there are alternatives. You could roast celeriac along with the potato. Just make sure you take the right ones on your plate. Or make a celeriac dauphinoise. I expect lots of you may have made or had potato dauphinoise in the past. Very thin slices cooked in stock and cream in the oven. They're wonderful and every bit as luxurious as a roast potato. So, but of course, much better for your glucose levels. So, a celeriac dauphinoise is a really good option. You can make low-carb stuffing. Use low-carb bread. I find it easier to blitz it first to make breadcrumbs, as it doesn't mash down as easily as mass-produced bread does. Then add some onions softened in olive oil, or my favourite, bacon fat. Add some dried sage and a little water, as if you were making a traditional sage and onion stuffing, just that you're using low-carb bread and obviously not vegetable oil. Put it in an oven-proof dish, dot it with butter and bake it, just like a traditional stuffing. And because this low-carb breads are usually made using nuts and seeds, this stuffing is much more tasty than old Mr. Paxo's stuffing. One eating apple, peeled and chopped and cooked down in the microwave. The microwave I find is the best for this, but you can cook it in a small saucepan gently and mush it up as you go. We'll give you a generous teaspoonful of apple sauce for 6 people, just 1 apple. And a generous teaspoonful, frankly, is enough with everything else on your plate for a Christmas dinner. Or if you're having cranberry sauce for everyone else, just don't put any on your plate. Or if you want, buy some cranberries and make a small amount for yourself using xylitol or erythritol. Then, of course, comes the Christmas pudding. A single portion of Christmas pudding has about 65 grams of carbohydrate. And what do you think that's going to do to your blood glucose levels? Bear in mind that you will already have had some carbs with your main course. Celeriac maybe, the stuffing, Brussels sprouts, carrots, applesauce. Yes, they're all small amounts in themselves, but they do add up. Do you really want to stick another 65 for a Christmas pudding? And before you say, but it is Christmas, remember that it is the spikes that cause the damage. Why not have something else different, but completely and equally indulgent? For instance, Emma Porter's wonderful chocolate roulade. Or there's a low-carb Christmas pudding recipe in our files as well. Or Emma's chocolate fondant. What could be nicer? Or what about cheese and some low-carb crackers? Have a whole cheese board there. I'm not sure lots of the others will enjoy it as well. You may overeat. We almost certainly will. And you may put on the odd pound or two, but you shouldn't cause too much damage to your health in the process by overloading your body with the damaging carbs. If you look in the Christmas section of the recipe folder, you'll find lots of suitable recipes for periods of festivity. And of course, they're not just for Christmas, but would suit other festivities too. Spiced nuts, pork scratchings, an indulgent Yule log, to name just a few. But suppose you're not the one in charge, you're invited somewhere else. To be honest, no one is going to notice if you don't eat the potatoes or the roast parsnips. Have the meat and the veg. At the very least, if they insist, eat one potato, leave the rest on the side of your plate and tap your tummy and say, really, I couldn't, I'm completely stuffed. Nobody should be forcing you to eat something. Think of making something low carb that everyone would enjoy and taking it for your host to add to the fare on offer. Take your own chocolate. In the general chaos, no one's going to notice if you have your own and not the ones being handed round. Or make your own low-carb chocolates and offer those around to everybody else. At the end of the day, it's your body and you're in charge of what goes into it. And if the worst comes to the worst and you feel you can't refuse out of politeness, then just have a small amount of whatever it is and enjoy it. There's no point in feeling guilty about it. That's not going to change anything. But next day, or after those couple of days of festivities, rein things in again, make an extra effort to get right back on track. If it's a simple birthday party, think of making a low-carb cake instead of your usual one. But if you feel you need to make or buy a regular one for everyone else, then make another for yourself and anyone else who might like it. I'm sure no one would turn down any of the cakes in these pictures, and yet these are all low-carb cakes. So check out online. Chocolate ones in particular are often really easy to do, and you can't tell the difference. Decorate them with some berries or chopped nuts. There are lots of alternatives. You'll find plenty of them online, and then you can have your cake and enjoy it. As we've said, this is the last session, but remember that you can still participate in the live sessions and the Facebook group. If you've not joined our support groups up till now, as I've said, you can still register at any time. See the website for details. If you feel at any stage that things have slipped and you need a refresher, you can always go through the videos again to remind yourself of where and why you might have gone off track. Think of getting together with someone else and help each other. You continue to have access to all the online resources, the recipes, the links to websites, talks, etc. So make use of them. And remember, it doesn't have to be complicated. Just eat real food. If any of you have been inspired by the course and the progress you've made, remember you can always pass on the information to others, or even join the PHC, become an ambassador and make a difference to other people's lives too. So, thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it and have a happy and healthy future. Goodbye.